Robin, how do you think the club is trending at the moment, especially given the lack of wins over the last four match days?
How do I think the club is trending?
Trending. In which direction do you think the club is moving in?
Well, I think we've been having positive results, obviously not in the last game, but as long as we're moving along and picking up points, I feel like we are continuing to move forward. I mean, obviously we've had a lot of injuries and we're working through a lot of injuries, but having said that, we've still been extremely competitive, but certainly we want to get more wins.
It's a short turnaround, especially because you've got the Canadian Championship game on, I think, next Tuesday, and then Miami comes to town. So it's 3 games in a very relative short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think this 3-game stretch will be a test of the team's depth, especially with the injury situation?
Well, everything right now is a test of the team's depth with the number of injuries we've had. I think when there were 1 or 2 injuries, we talked about the depth of the team being a strength, but we're at a point now where we've lost so many players that it's excuse me, it's definitely being tested, and it is what it is. Injuries sometimes occur, but this is a particularly bad stretch for us.
Robin, how did the players respond this week after losing that unbeaten run in home? What have you seen in training?
Yeah, they've been good. Obviously, even if you look at the game last week, we finished with a lot of intention, a lot of aggression, and so I think it's a pretty universal thought here that we feel like we've let points slip away, and obviously they're anxious to get to the next one to try to get those points.
And obviously no one likes to lose a game, but do you see any positives of the result from last week and maybe addressing some things that you may want to adjust that you may not be able to adjust if you win or if you get a draw?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest positive to take away from it is that when we're really aggressive in the attacking end of the field, we're dangerous. And if you look at how the game finished, obviously score the goal and create a number of chances late. It's definitely a mindset. And when things aren't going perfectly well, you have to constantly remind yourselves that when we are aggressive in the attacking end of the field, we can be dangerous.
What's been your sort of view of San Jose's incredible start to the season? And further to that, I mean, what kind of game are you expecting on Saturday against them?
Yeah, they've had a tremendous start. They do a lot of things really well. They don't complicate things. They don't try to overplay. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And I'd be curious if you were to look at all the goals that have been given up this year by all the teams, how many of them are actually great plays versus how many of them come off mistakes. And San Jose is a team that's right now not making mistakes. And when you win as many games as they have an unbelievable amount of confidence now in what they do. So it's not like anyone there feels like they need to set the world on fire. They just need to do their jobs. And as they're each doing their jobs, they're setting the world on fire.
I know it's not all about stopping Timo Werner, but he's really taken the league by storm. I'd be curious to hear your take on what you've seen from him. Like what has he brought to the table for San Jose?
Pace and experience. Certainly he's a player that we've watched for years, and his pace has always been very eye-catching. And you put him in with a good group of players who are solidly doing things well, he's going to shine.
Zoom, go ahead.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, James.
You've been dealing with us throwing questions at you for a couple months now. I'm wondering if there's anything that's been on your mind that we haven't gotten to yet.
How much time do you have?
All day.
No, I mean, I think you asked the pertinent questions. Obviously, injuries have been a part of our story so far this year. And then it's coping with the injuries and how best to fill those spots and what formation best to work with the group that we have versus maybe if we had everyone. So I think you've asked the questions that are relevant and pertinent, which are based on where we are, how are we planning to improve, and how are we planning to get better. So I think those have all been fair questions.
Any other questions on Zoom?
No, I'm good, Alex, thanks.
Yeah, can we go over the list of injuries, Robin? I ask every week about Henry and Gomes. Are they any closer to coming
Yeah,
back?
I think Nixon is closer. I think, as I keep saying, coming off long-term injuries, and he's already had a few niggling, muscling injuries, that we just want to make sure that he's physically ready. Not worried about his Achilles, but the rest of his body.
But not for this weekend, you don't
No.
think? Okay. What about DeAndre?
DeAndre trained today, looked good today. He should be available.
Okay. And I know Benjamin and Sifu came out of the game
Yeah.
in the first half. What's their status for the weekend?
It's unlikely that either will be available for this week. Benjamin is a similar recurrence to what happened a couple weeks ago, and Sifu's just been dealing with some knee issues for a while. So for this weekend, no.
And Walker? Did his wife have that?
Walker's wife had the baby.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Yeah,
That's
he had a baby girl, and he's doing well. He's come back. He's obviously had a busy last couple of days, but he'll be available.
And baby and wife are
Baby
doing
and
fine?
mom are doing very well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's still, I mean, it's great that DeAndre is going to be back, but it's still a lot of guys who are out. I mean,
Yeah.
do you scratch your head about this? I mean, I look at the game on Saturday. At one point, you were missing basically 1/3 of your roster. I mean, how do you?
You do what you have to do.
Okay.
I mean, injuries are a part of it, and
But this is ridiculous.
I've been on teams where there were no injuries,
Right.
and things roll, swimmingly. And then I've been on teams where there have been just tons of injuries. This takes me back a little bit to 2018, where we had quite a few injuries. Lost in the Champions League final, and then the season was a struggle. And then in Colorado, I had a year where I don't know how many hamstrings we had early in the year. So you have years that go like this, and sometimes I feel like you do everything right, but the human body is pretty complex. And there have been some bizarre things this year between the injuries and some of the ricochet goals we've given up.
Yeah.
I feel like this is we just have to put our heads down and work, and the guys who are available have to step up.
Any new injuries? Cross fingers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would have to go through the list again, but I don't think there's anything new.
And I'm trying to think, you never played for Bruce, did you?
Yeah.
You did?
National team.
Oh, the right national team. Okay. So, and you've coached against him, obviously. So what's he like to go up against as a coach?
The thing that I think Bruce does, this was my feeling when I was playing with him on the national team, the thing that Bruce does is he fills his teams with confidence, and he makes you feel like you can do anything. And we played against Germany in early 1999 and pressed them everywhere. It's not like you expect the U.S. to go and press Germany, but that's Bruce. He's bold and he fills you with confidence. And we pressed the heck out of Germany, and we're up 3-0 at halftime. So I think one of his big strengths is he's a really good manager. And from certainly my experiences, he gets guys to want to play for him and to play together.
Robin, also, there's a couple of games more at home in this long stretch, 9 games at home. There's only 2 more in the MLS before the World Cup break. Do you have any message for the fans to come and cheer, to give everything? Because after this, it's going to be until August that they come back to cheer for TFC.
Yeah, I mean, certainly our fans have been, they've been there, and they've been loud, and they've been at our games. And we've certainly, I think people find the games exciting. I certainly don't. I want to just flat out win. I don't want to give up 3 goals, but I think the fans have come out and they've been supportive of us, and we really want to reward them and thank them for their commitment to us. And we just want to make sure that we approach these games the right way and give it the right effort and give the fans something to be proud of.